Hi, it's time for another verb of the day. Today's verb is accomplish. Let's take a look at some of the definitions or ways we use this verb. First way you might hear the verb accomplish used is to mean to bring about a result through effort. Connected to this is the second definition, so completing or fulfilling something successfully. And this definition also connects to our third one of achieving something successfully. So you might hear this verb accomplish used in place of achieve. Some people will use it in place of completing. But it's all sort of it has a really positive meaning to it, and that's what I think people should remember. You should know that accomplish is a regular verb. To make the progressive tense, all you need to do is add ing to form accomplishing. The past tense and participle forms of this verb are made by adding ed. The base verb accomplish ends in that sh sound. So our past tense ending is going to make a T sound. Accomplished, accomplished. You'll be happy to know we don't have any additional meanings through phrasal verbs, so that's going to allow us to focus on making sentences in the past perfect and present perfect. Let's start with the past perfect. We're using this particular verb tense to note that something was completed before another action or before a particular time in the past. In many sentences, you'll see it used in conjunction with the simple past. So the simple past is sort of the thing that occurred second in the past. To make a past perfect sentence, we want to use a past form of have. That's had. And then we'll use the ed form of the verb. Let's look at our affirmative example. The team was unable to repeat what they had accomplished in the previous season. So they must have had a very successful season a year ago, right? And perhaps their season has just ended and they weren't able to have that same level of success. If you want to make a negative past perfect sentence, then you need to insert not after your had. You might hear some people use the contraction hadn't. So it's fine either way. You can say had not and then the participle, or you can say hadn't and then the participle. Here's an example. The county hadn't accomplished its vaccination goals before they offered a lottery. So again, this is noting something that hadn't happened before a second action. So the second action here is offering a lottery. Many states and local municipalities are doing this to try and continue to encourage people to get vaccinated. The closer we get to 70%, the safer we will all be. Finally, if you want to make a yes or no question in the past perfect, start with had, then use your subject, and then the participle form of the verb. Had they accomplished their goals? Okay. Now let's take a look at the present perfect. We can use this verb tense to talk about an action that started in the past and continues into the present, or we can use it to describe something that happened at an unknown time in the past. To make a present perfect sentence, you can use have or has, depending on what your subject is, and then you're going to use the participle form of the verb. Here's an example. My team and I have accomplished a great deal during the pandemic. So this might be a sentence someone says that works for a particular organization, so they're referencing the group with whom they work. But it could also be referencing a sports team or some other group of people. If you want to make a negative present perfect sentence, then you need to insert not after have or has. And again, you might hear people use the contraction forms haven't or hasn't. And again, after that, always the participle. Here's another example. The new laws haven't accomplished much in decreasing drug violence. It's kind of like having a particular effect, hasn't been successful in that particular goal. Finally, let's look at making a present perfect yes or no question. To do this, you'll start with have or has, whichever form matches your subject, and that comes next, and then you'll have your participle. Here's an example. Has President Biden accomplished much since taking office? Right? So again, it's kind of asking us to look back from January 2021 until today. So that idea of start in the past continues into the present. Now, let's spend a moment looking at some words that are related to our verb accomplish. The first word we'll look at is the noun accomplishment. This can be referring to something that has been achieved successfully. Could be a task or it could be an activity that can be done very well. And it could be an activity that's done through a long time of study or practice. Here's an example. Her greatest accomplishment was earning her PhD. So if this is new for you, right, this is really, in most fields, our highest level of achievement. So many people will earn a high school diploma. They may get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's. PhD is right at the top there. The next word we'll look at is the adjective accomplished. This means highly trained or skilled. Here's an example of that. They are accomplished musicians, right? So they may have received years of training and they could also be very skillful, very talented. Connected to that adjective is unaccomplished, right? So hopefully you're seeing that prefix un, right, and thinking not. So here this might be meaning showing very little skill. An example of that could be he's an unaccomplished swimmer. So he doesn't have much skill when it comes to swimming. A second way to use this adjective, unaccomplished, just means not carried out. So not completed, not finished. An example of that. The US's mission in Afghanistan seems unaccomplished. So, if you're following that news, that sentence may make a great deal of sense in that they doesn't seem like we've built a stable government there. But if you're not following that, that may be too complex of an example. So, with a lot of these things, I spend some time reading headlines, looking for real world examples, and I'd encourage you to do the same. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day.